Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. So a few days ago I did a video about staking ORCA and sharing many of the ways you can earn with the ORCA protocol, with the ORCA token. It's not hard to make money in crypto, you just have to understand the flow of money, how everything is structured, and ORCA is infrastructure. That is why usually you'll find my videos talking about liquidity pools, blue chip assets as reliable ways for anyone to generate passive income, and this just proves it. Back in my video, ORCA's APR was at 100 something percent. Now it's at 219% just a few days after. So this is the video I told you about 2 days ago. In case you haven't watched it, let me just go over to show you the APR here. Okay, here it is, 112 APR, 112%, you see? And now it's pretty much doubled that. So yeah, 219%, pretty much doubled. I'm not saying go on and buy ORCA, stake ORCA. I'm not saying that. I'm just doing this video to bring you awareness at infrastructure. That's where the money flows. If you position that, if you understand that in crypto, you will make money. And this is pretty much because the token's price has been up for the past day or so. Let's go to CoinGecko and check it out. So let's find ORCA here. Here it is. In the past 7 days, it's up 15%. So there was a big correction here. You see, this was earlier today, November the 27th at 9 a.m. So there was definitely a correction taking place. But I believe this is fueled, these pumps that you see here, they are fueled by the buybacks, which I told you on my previous video, how everything works. Back here on ORCA, you can say every single day, 24 hours buybacks, every single day they're doing buybacks of the token. This is their new model, allow token holders also to earn while they stake. But the staked ORCA right now, it's 6.5 million. So it went up to 1.86 and now it's down from that to 1.38. So this means, guys, if you are a liquidity provider, which is another of the things I told you you could do with the ORCA token, because these buybacks mean volume into the ORCA liquidity pools. So if you're a regular here on the channel, you know pretty much already everything you need to know about yield farming, liquidity pools. But let's just go here and check the ORCA liquidity pools volume. So yeah, this one pretty much is 3x volume to TVL ratio, which is what you want to see optimally. Always volume higher than TVL. The higher the better, the higher the ratio the better. ORCA Solana is also 4x, very close to that. This is very close to 20x, something around that. With the liquidity pools, granted that you do have a wide enough range, you'll profit whenever the prices go up, you'll profit when the prices go down. You are just focusing on the fees. If you want to create something like that to generate passive income, don't be greedy. Do not go with tight ranges, because if you do that, you will have to constantly readjust your up and downside ranges. It's not going to be all that passive, and you are going to go out of range very often, potentially locking in permanent loss. So what you want to do is have a wider range. On the downside, I would feel comfortable holding this to 80 cents even on the downside. And on the upside, I like the upside at around $2 the very least. This was where the price was chopping sideways before the October 10th liquidation event. But actually, when I did publish that previous video, was also because the price was fairly low. And whenever things are low, people do not want to buy. Everyone wants to buy when everything is green, everything is pumping. There's a lot of FOMO in the market. But as a liquidity provider, you have to abstract yourself from that. You'll have to understand there's a bottom, there's a top, and ideally, you want to find those so that you can profit while the price is chopping sideways. And again, guys, ORCA is an infrastructure token because it's intimately connected to the success of the ORCA DEX, which is a main DEX for Solana. It's a main liquidity layer on Solana, one of the biggest blockchains right now, especially in terms of volume. And people, when they go and swap on Jupiter, for example, Jupiter has the best rates. They're a DEX aggregator, so they tap into multiple liquidity pools, not just ORCA, but other DEXs. The thing is that ORCA, like I showed you in the previous video, they tweeted they were the #1 ranking protocol with volume when it comes to blue chip asset liquidity pools. And in my opinion, that's huge because blue chips are what drive the crypto market. Let's face it, it's Bitcoin, #1, then it's Ethereum, so on and so forth. So if we go back here on DeFi Llama, let's find, so these are the fees paid, the protocols, total fees paid by protocols on all chains. They will list us all of the protocols which are having the higher generated fees for the past 24 hours. But let's go with the longer time period. Usually that's what I like to do because I'm in this game for the long run. So let's go with 30 days fees, and these will show us all the protocols ranking by fees generated in the past month. So far on the top 10, ORCA is not there. There's Aster on the 11th. Aster is also a good token to be holding, I would say. As a side note, they are competing with a Hyperliquid, which is the number 3rd protocol generating fees for the past month. All right. So Aster, they're a competitor to Hyperliquid. So I believe they're undervalued because of that. As time goes by, I believe they will climb these ranks, generate more fees, and that will drive also protocol value and token value. But now let's go back on ORCA. So I'm just scrolling to show you where ORCA is here on the list. So it's the 31st protocol ranked here for the past month in fees generated. All fees paid by users, $11 million. They operate on 2 chains, but mostly it's what happens on Solana that drives the price. Do not be misled by thinking, oh, it's just the 31st. Well, look at Aerodrome, the biggest DEX on base. They're the 30th, okay? And you gotta understand, this is the overall generated fees in the crypto market. So being in the top 30 of crypto DeFi, which is valued at 120 billion in TVL, this is pure liquidity, on-chain liquidity across all protocols. And ORCA is pretty much in the top 30. Let me be very clear, ORCA is among the top 30 protocols that handle not this total TVL, but a vast majority of it, because they are a pillar of one of the biggest blockchains. The bigger the blockchain, the higher the TVL. Big TVLs mean more liquidity, and more liquidity flows mean more fees, more revenue generated by the protocols overall within that same ecosystem. And again, ORCA is one of the big pillars. They are effectively handling most of the on-chain volume. So guys, you will see these pumps, you will see these dumps, people taking profits, corrections happening, etc. But in the long run, the buyback, which is fueled by the protocol's generated fees from ORCA, from people trading tokens in the ORCA pools, all of that put together will drive the token's price up. This is something we saw happening before with Pump Fund ecosystem. The team spent over 62 million on buybacks to boost price. The buybacks have soaked up over 16.5 billion tokens as the platform looks to stabilize price action and reduce sell pressure. The buyback strategy uses platform generated revenue, the same thing as ORCA is doing. Platform generated fees are financing the buybacks, primarily fees collected from users launching meme coins to execute daily token repurchases. Daily buybacks have consistently ranged between 1.3 and 2.3 million over the past week, as Dune Analytic data shows. So let's take a look here at Dune Analytic data. So this was back when the price crashed down to this price range, and we see that in the first half of August, so this is August 1st, from here on we see that the price starts to go up, and in the long term it did go up to a new all-time high. So everything started in the first half of August, and looking here at the daily buybacks chart, the beginning of August, that's where we start to see this uptrend. More and more daily buybacks by total amount as time goes by, but they started at the beginning of August. So essentially that is what drove the price from this all-time low to a new all-time high. I'm not sure that is going to happen with ORCA, of course, but the idea behind is just the same. So if you are into ORCA's liquidity pools, you might even set up yourself a liquidity pool, and the fees that the liquidity pool generate, you turn that into ORCA and you stake it here. These are just ideas, guys. I'm not telling you to do this or not to do this. I'm just sharing the data with you, okay? But I thought it was quite bullish to see the APR just in a matter of a few days doubling, and then the price having those fluctuations. These are just opportunities for LP farming, for staking, buying an undervalued asset, which I think ORCA is. But the main takeaway of the video is, if you want to make money in crypto for the long run, it's not hard. Find infrastructure, and infrastructure are protocols like DEXs. Most of them will have this sort of mechanics. You can earn in all of them with LP farming, liquidity pools, farming blue chips, etc. But some of them or most of them will have these features, these mechanics to drive value to their native token. And I love this stuff, and that's why I did a video on ORCA, and now a couple days after I'm just showing you these things work. And if you understand how the game is played, how the money flows in crypto, you understand where infrastructure is, and infrastructure directs that flow, manages that flow. That's a simple way to make money in crypto without having unnecessary risk with memes, crazy pre-sales that probably are going to get us wrecked. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you are already earning some ORCA, if you are also bullish on ORCA or maybe some of the other protocols I mentioned briefly here on the video. Let me know in the comments. And you know the drill, guys. If you like this type of content, like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. Take care. Keep exploring crypto, and I'll see you on the next one.